We are hearing intense whispers about a double disappearance that the authorities are desperately trying to keep tightly under wraps. I am talking about Michael Corinthos and ADA Justine Turner vanishing into the shadows without a single trace. If you ask me, this does not feel like your standard soap opera kidnapping where the villain leaves a ransom note pinned to the door. Insider buzz is heavily pointing toward Jen Sidwell being the phantom who orchestrated this silent extraction. Sidwell has been lurking, setting traps, and harassing people like Willow Kane. But this is an escalation that absolutely nobody saw coming. The streets are completely quiet, the police have zero tangible leads, and the sheer precision of how Michael and Justine were taken suggests a level of planning that goes way beyond a simple grudge. We are looking at a highly coordinated, invisible strike. Everyone assumes that this is just the next logical step in Sidwell's violent revenge tour against Sonny Corinthos. Most viewers believe that Michael was taken simply because he is Sonny's son, making him the most obvious and painful piece of leverage anyone could ever use against the mob boss. As for Justine Turner, the obvious explanation seems to be that she was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, perhaps collateral damage in Sidwell's reckless crusade to hurt Sonny. People think Sidwell is just an unhinged rogue agent lashing out violently because his initial traps involving Laura Collins and Lucas Jones did not perfectly execute. It is incredibly easy to buy into that surface level narrative. Sonny has been openly discussing his lethal plans to hunt down and eliminate Sidwell with Rick Lansing. So the general consensus is that Sidwell struck first to paralyze Sonny with fear. If you just look at the basic facts, grabbing the heir to the Corinthos organization forces Sonny to freeze his offensive maneuvers. The audience is ready to accept that this is a straightforward hostage situation meant to bring the great Sonny Corinthos to his knees. But what if we are looking at this entirely the wrong way? What if that was not the real reason Sidwell targeted these two specific individuals? I keep wondering whether there is a much deeper, far more insidious hidden agenda at play here. Let's look at the board and the players involved. Justine Turner is not just some random bystander who got swept up in a mob war. She is the assistant district attorney who just recently clashed fiercely with Harrison Chase over Tracy Quartermain's arrest. She holds immense legal power. And Michael? He and Tracy Quartermain just recently had a major breakthrough, realizing they have a lot in common and forming a rare, unspoken mutual respect. If you ask me, taking Justine and Michael together is not a coincidence at all. It feels like a highly specific mathematical equation. What if the situation is being manipulated to control both the legal system and the corporate underworld of Port Charles simultaneously? Sidwell isn't just looking for a payout or basic revenge. He is looking for systemic dominance. By holding the ADA and the Corinthos Quartermain Golden Boy, he effectively has a gun to the head of the police department, the district attorney's office, the mob, and ELQ. This isn't just a kidnapping. This is a hostile takeover of the city's power structures. Let's break down the speculation into a few distinct possibilities, because there may be more going on here than a simple hostage crisis. Possibility number one is what I call the ultimate legal shield protocol. Think about it for a second. Sidwell is a wanted man, hunted by international authorities, the WSB and Sonny's cartel. What if he grabbed Justine Turner specifically to force her to access highly classified PCPD and WSB databases? Justine has the clearance to wipe files, alter arrest warrants, or perhaps uncover the remaining evidence that Detective Joe Fitzpatrick is holding on to. In this scenario, Michael is nothing more than the physical leverage used to keep Sonny's hitmen at bay, while Justine is forced to do Sidwell's digital dirty work behind a computer screen. This theory makes a lot of sense when you factor in Ross Cullum. We know Cullum is a dirty double agent working with Sidwell. If Valentine, Cassadine, and Z are closing in on Cullum's network in Geneva, Sidwell desperately needs a legal firewall in Port Charles. Justine Turner could be coerced into drafting immunity deals or destroying the digital paper trail that links Sidwell to Cullum's cold fusion theft. Michael's presence in the bunker just ensures that Sonny doesn't blow the building to pieces while the download is happening. But another theory is the orchestrated war. Possibility number two, revolves around Sidwell weaponizing the two most powerful families in town against each other. Right now, Sonny is absolutely furious. Insider rumors say his anger has exploded beyond any rational limit, and he is unleashing every single underworld resource he has to hunt Sidwell down. At the exact same time, Tracy Quartermain is mobilizing her own private security forces and corporate mercenaries to find Michael. What if Sidwell planted false evidence to make Sonny believe Tracy's people are interfering, or vice versa? Imagine the sheer chaos if Sonny's enforcers and Tracy's hired guns end up colliding in the streets because Sidwell is feeding them conflicting coordinates. Sidwell could be sitting back in the shadows, watching the Corinthos organization and the Quartermain Empire tear each other apart in their desperate, uncoordinated panic to find Michael. Justine's role in this? She could be used to legally block Sonny's people from investigating certain areas, further infuriating the mob boss and pushing him to declare war on the DA's office. It is a brilliant, chaotic strategy to divide and conquer the city's elite. Now, let's look at possibility number 3, which involves the inside man theory. Detective Joe Fitzpatrick has already speculated that Sidwell must have an inside man helping him evade capture. What if that inside man is actually an inside woman? What if Justine Turner was not kidnapped at all? What if she is secretly on Sidwell's payroll and her abduction is merely a theatrical cover story to explain her disappearance while she helps Sidwell interrogate or torture Michael? It would perfectly explain how Sidwell managed to snatch Michael so cleanly without leaving a single trace or triggering any alarms. Justine could have lured Michael to a secure location under the guise of discussing Tracy's legal case, only to hand him directly over to Sidwell. This changes the entire dynamic. If Justine is a willing participant, then Michael is trapped in a psychological nightmare where he doesn't know who to trust. It also means the PCPD is fundamentally compromised. Every move Harrison Chase or Dante Falconeri makes to find Michael would instantly be relayed back to Sidwell. It creates an insurmountable advantage for the villain, turning this from a rescue mission into a deadly game of chess where Sidwell always knows Sonny's moves before he even makes them. However, there is a final theory floating around the behind-the-scenes rumor mill, and it is by far the most dangerous possibility. It doesn't even need to be the most logical outcome, it just needs to be the most haunting. What if Sidwell has no intention of ever returning Michael or Justine alive, regardless of what Sonny or Tracy do? What if this entire kidnapping is a psychological torture device designed to completely break Sonny's mind before taking his life? The rumor is that Sidwell is going to contact Sonny with a sickening ultimatum, a choice between two lives. Imagine Sonny picking up a burner phone and Sidwell tells him that he can only save Michael if he personally executes Laura Collins or Lucas Jones. We know Sidwell already has a revenge trap set for Laura and Lucas. By forcing Sonny to pull the trigger on someone he loves to save his son, Sidwell would destroy Sonny's soul without having to fire a single bullet himself. Alternatively, what if Sidwell is using WSB mind control techniques courtesy of his connections with Cullum and the remnants of Caesar Faison's dark research to brainwash Michael? The absolute darkest fear is that when Sonny finally kicks down the door to rescue his son, Michael will be the one holding a gun aimed right at Sonny's chest. We just do not know the full truth yet. These unconfirmed details are swirling around, painting a terrifying picture of a villain who has pushed himself to the absolute point of no return. Sidwell has crossed the ultimate line by taking Michael, and Sonny's blind, furious mobilization of his entire cartel proves that the gloves are completely off. Tracy's involvement only adds gasoline to a raging inferno as she brings her own ruthless brand of power into the manhunt. Could Sidwell really be manipulating the DA's office to erase his criminal footprint? Is Justine Turner a tragic victim, or is she a cunning accomplice hiding in plain sight? Will Sonny be forced into an impossible, tragic choice that costs him everything he holds dear? Something about this whole scenario feels deeply hidden. The obvious narrative of a simple revenge kidnapping just doesn't cover the sheer scale of the secrets involved. Maybe the rumors are right, and we are about to witness the most devastating psychological warfare Port Charles has ever seen. Maybe they are wrong, and there is an even bigger player pulling Sidwell's strings from the shadows. But one thing is absolutely certain. When the truth finally comes out, the fallout will leave permanent scars on everyone involved. There is so much more to the story that hasn't been told yet, and we will be watching every single move.
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.